Hello, I'm Ben Pindra. I'm the Communications Director at Northern Lights, and as you can see, we're on the long, lazy roll into summer. The sun's shining behind me, and that means that we're kicking into silly season. And this video blog, I thought it'd be interesting just to have a quick chat about silly season and what it can mean for your business in terms of publicity, demonstrating your expertise, etc. Silly season, in short, is when everyone's left the country to head off to sunnier climes, and what we're left with is a small hardcore of journalists and businesses battling through with diminished staff. But what that means is the newspapers are grappling for stories, and that's where the silly season phrase comes from. Just for example, a lot of the newspapers have run some bizarre stories over this time, and it's just a case of trying to find anything you can grab that got some news value. I think some keen examples of late have been a dolphin sign language, killer chipmunks, that was a favourite. There was a front page obituary for a carp called Benson, and you obviously get the staples, things like I saw Jesus in a piece of toast or Elvis spoke to me via a cod. There's all these highly entertaining stories, but what that means for you is there's great potential to grab that media coverage you desire that helps raise the profile of your business and really just to start to show some of your expertise and your insights. All too often what I see is when I was a journalist, you'd get these daft stories that the Nationals were chasing. I'd be asked to go get some credibility for it by actually speaking to someone with the knowledge you need just to back up that story. More often than not, businesses, universities, whoever it was I was trying to approach would shy away from it. They were afraid actually putting themselves towards these slightly daft stories would actually hurt their image. And what I'd say is this is wrong. It's a great opportunity. Yes, it might be fun, it might be a little bit daft, but it's a great way to actually show your expertise and your knowledge, your offer. It provides a story with a bit of credibility, which is why the papers are after it. But more importantly, it actually allows you to go, yes, this might be feasible because, or this doesn't really work because of this, etc. But what it actually allows you to do is say, we know this because this is what we do. So I would always say embrace it. By the same token, it creates opportunities for you to dictate the own news agenda as well. So you can actually look within your own business, within your own organisation for a number of stories that have got potentially, I'd always look for something a little bit quirkier and something that's slightly entertaining, a little bit more light-hearted than you perhaps normally do, but the journalist will love you for it. So hunt around the organisation. What I'd say at this point is 6 weeks after some holidays rolling in, hunt around, see if you've got 6 light-hearted stories in the business, and then work to pull them together and get them ready to roll out during this summer season. Most importantly, with a silly season story is pictures, and it's something I've said in the past with some of my earlier blogs about how to write a successful press release, but if you can get a great photo with it, you're pretty much guaranteed it's going to get to run. So always look for really good solid photos. So identify these stories and then pull the photo in to make it work. The other thing I'd also say with silly season is the journalists are desperate to keep the stories running. So if you spot some of these fun stories appearing in the local media, in the Nationals, through the other outlets and channels, then don't be afraid to get involved. If you see it that day, contact the journalist and say, I spotted this story, I can comment on this because, or I disagree with this because, or we've had a similar experience like this. And every time the journalist is going to bite your hand off, they're going to want to run the story more and more. It makes their life easier, they get a quality story out of it as well, and it does exactly what I say about raising your profile, demonstrating your expertise. The one thing to really think about is just remember to be fun with it. Don't be afraid to, you can offer a serious opinion, but try and inject some fun into your response as well. The whole idea of these silly season stories are that they're light and entertaining. Also, plan ahead. As I've said, we're in the summer season, the chances are half of your staff are going to be away, so make sure you have people who are trained to actually respond to these, and these people need to be able to talk confidently and inject a little bit of fun into what they're saying. So just make sure you know who's going to respond if you decide to actually start chasing these opportunities, and make sure they've got the necessary training. Finally, think social as well. It's a great way to engage in this format as well. The beauty of this is you can actually use social media to engage with the journalist, engage with the stories, comment on it, or simply share it. Share the fun with the people who are following you. It does everything we always say about social media. It keeps your brand alive, keeps the conversation going, and most importantly, it shows a little personality. So enjoy the sunshine, and remember, don't be afraid to be silly.